Hey guys, welcome to Clockwork Dandy Noodles for another breakdown of the Tower of God series. We're on season 2. This is episode number 4. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are looking after yourselves. We are testing some new equipment, so I don't know how the audio is coming through, but maybe it sounds better. I've got a new microphone. I am really warming to it. I am liking it, and it's actually quite easy for me to now just plug it in and record the audio underneath, and instead of dealing with multiple files going on. So it's definitely a welcome upgrade to the channel. But I hope you guys are doing okay. There are now 6 days before my move to Japan. It means that your video for next week is going to be bumped around. I don't know how long it's going to take me to set things up, but I'm trying to make sure it's done quickly. It shouldn't take beyond a few weeks. I think it might take 3 days max to sort the internet out, but that is a touch wood situation. So bear with it. I am recording videos for the gaps, so there will be stuff going out on a channel, so you haven't got just empty air on a channel. So I am working really busy right now, despite the fact that I am leaving in 6 days. So I am keeping very busy to make sure that I'm doing you guys some good videos coming your way. You've got a video going out Tuesday, I think. Tuesday or Wednesday, I've got a video and I'm doing an anime quiz, which is quite cool. And it's a really decent quiz. We've done anime quizzes on the show before, but this is a decent one. And then I'll have another one going out on Friday. And then I'm probably going to give you at least 3 more videos just to cover my back to see how things go. So stay with the channel, guys. This week we're going to break down episode number 4, and it's actually quite a really cool episode, and there's a lot of like little twists that I wasn't expecting, but there's also, I think it's the first week where we finally have deaths on the show, and Tower of God is definitely a brutal anime when it wants to be. We do get to find out Love's reason for hating Fug, and a bit more about Fug in general, how they are actually a bunch of killers and Love's parents were killed. We don't really have too much information beyond that, but that's why he starts to question Bam, like, why did you join them? Like, what is your purpose? And obviously he mentions the fact that he's trying to meet up with Rachel. Are you meeting up for revenge? And Bam is like, it depends on what happens. It depends on the person. That is going to make me wonder what is going to happen when we finally meet up with Rachel, and what's she gonna say? What's he gonna do? I do wonder, like, how far ahead are the group and when are we gonna meet up? So this week I'm gonna be calling them Team Misfit. Later we'll be turning into Team Ya because he seems to be more of the leader. Viol is kind of there. They make some decent progress whilst everybody is busy. However, of course, we're going to have the loan shark being a loan shark. And this week, the 2 characters that I said I didn't recognise and they joined the floor late, they of course were bad news. Very bad news. It's really sad because our first death is Nia, and I'm really sad about this one because I don't think Nia went out the way to like backstab anybody, but I think it was just the case that you've teamed up on the wrong side. The granny was in a very bad situation because she was wrapped up with the loan shark, and Nia was therefore wrapped up with the loan shark, and the loan shark just didn't care. I don't know if Nia knew that there was no chance that she would have been coming out of it alive anyway, but it's the first death of season 2, but it's a very powerful death that actually leads Ya to basically find his drive, his determination. This is what I'm going to be doing from now on. It fires him up to make a decision. It is interesting to see that the loan shark pretty much even goes against the Nepo baby. I'm calling him Nepo baby because it will take me some time to get all their names together. I do love the line, abandoned by God, seek out the devil. Really cool line because obviously Bam is the devil. It's brutal enough. The anime really does go there with the sounds this week. Everybody's got their own reasons to essentially climb, and even the loan shark had his own reasons, and then eventually he fell down the wrong hole too. Sadly, he decided he wanted to continue the cycle of not really forgiving people, but actually doing it for himself, as opposed to, he was still climbing for the Nepo baby. He would have still gone up, but he decided that he wanted to do it his way. And it sadly involved the killing of an innocent, which didn't need to happen. With the tower itself, I've always said that people climbing a tower are morally grey. A lot of them are morally grey, and a lot of them are driven by desire to get those wishes granted to do things that they probably wouldn't do in a normal setting. You can go down that philosophical route of, if it's in your capabilities to do something bad, is that technically you? I want to believe that if you don't encounter any bad situations and you act morally good, that also is you. Swaying in on that interesting philosophical debate that I've seen floating around with the Tower of God series, which I think is fascinating anyway. I love the reaction she gives when Viola's like, I'm not interested in your body, and then he actually frees her from Sousa, I believe. I do hope that Bam Viola returns back to himself at some point. I think right at the end there's a slight smile, but I can't tell because there's too much hair, like too much fringe, mate. The fringe, so we can't see his eyes at the moment, is making it difficult to know if the guy's smiling or emotion going on whatsoever. Deal with the devil, essentially, and the devil's like, fine, okay, I'll help you out. I do love that section, and it ends up with him pairing up and making a deal with Bam, which is quite cool. And then we have Kang. Now, I think Kang is the guy that the boy refers to as Mr. Devil, but he's not Mr. Devil. So Kang literally has a really kind of dark secret like ability that is quite spooky and scary, and he is also the guy who brings about the death to the guy that I said died last week but didn't technically die. So Mr. Devil, I think, was the guy on the floor. He's not actually dead. And then he obviously starts trying to kill the kid. Kang comes in and he then does do the second death in the season. Everybody having their reason to climb the tower. Another bit I did like was, I think Yar's the one who says this, is the tower made to grant wishes, or is it made to make people give up on them? It does make me wonder how many people just don't get to the top, and can it only be one wish granted, and how many wishes have been granted by the tower? So it is making me really question some of the logistics that I really hope that the series delves into, because I do want some more about the tower. But I think as well, Tower of God has to keep the tower itself a bit of a mystery for it to have this effect and this intrigue, because if you have it all on a plate and you know all the details, it's not as interesting as wondering all of these things. Forgiving the guy and then just like trying to break the cycle. I don't know if that just means that he now goes back down and has to go and try again, or whether there's any consequences to killing people in the tower, because it doesn't seem like there is. But as soon as Yar is crying on the floor, and obviously I think Love's on his back, and he says he killed Nia, he does stop. He actually stops and he looks at him. So I don't know whether murder is a-okay. There's going to be some like fine lines within the tower, maybe. I love Yar and his new dream, and he decides that he hates the tower, the way the things are. It sucks. I'm going to try and be the king. And in this sense, I want things to be different. I want things to be a place where everybody can get together. Everybody can actually laugh and smile. This week's episode is very key, very important. We lose a member, but it gives the motivation that you need for Yar to really find that fire within. And I almost wonder if that's the reason why Bam accepts that he's going to climb. I know he says rules are rules. The new fired up version is resonating with him. Maybe it's resonating because it reminds him of other characters as well. So it does seem like we're now on the move. We're going to go up to level 21. I don't know where Rachel and Kun are. Of course, we haven't had it this week, but we're going to do it now. Of course, it's hashtag #FRachel in the chat. Administrator lets Love go. And then he says, as Fug requested. Fug wants Yar to go up, but I don't know why. And it does make me wonder, is the administration working with Fug, and how corrupt is the tower? Because if every single tower floor, is there's 100 of them, has a administrator and they all work or pretty much solely on their own, like their own little like bubble, people are going to start taking bribes. People are going to start having their own motivations and things. So it does make me wonder how many of the floors are corrupt. How involved is Fug? Because Fug seems to have a bit of a hand in things, and they really want Yar to go through for some reason. I still think the group that he has right now, a lot of them are not strong enough to go up, especially with the kid and everything. What is the percent of people who actually make it to the top? I love the little sequence with him looking at the sky, and you can see that there's lights in the roof just to show you that you are on a floor, you're not actually outside, and it just makes you wonder how big the tower really is. It's all those logistic questions. How big's the tower? How many people are in there? They must be growing their own food, being able to sustain themselves. And what is the world outside? Because I think Bam and Rachel were outside initially, then they go in, but it looked like they were kind of in a cave situation. So I don't know what the world outside is like, and it's intriguing to see where the show's going to go, because it feels like it's a very long running show. I don't know if it's still going. I feel like it is, so it hasn't hit its conclusion just yet. Now Bam giving in because of the rules again, I don't know if it's the case that he also knows that Fug wants him to climb, and I would love to know the interactions that Bam has with them, whether he's still got connections to them, he's got a way to talk to the rest of the group, whether he knows that the intention was to get our boy Yar up there? Does he know more than he's actually letting on? Is there a reason why he also knew where the ring was? Because if I believe the fact that the ring was just there on the floor and Bam picks it up, it does make you question. There is a lot going on that I'd like to have answers to, which is why I'm very interested in this show. Of course, we're going to finally see my boy, my husbando Kun. I can't wait. I've finally seen him. I'm also really glad that he's the first character we see from the other group before Rachel. I just want to know where he is, because they both seemingly are looking at the same sun, or looking out at the sun as it rises in the morning. But I don't know if that means they're on the same level or not. I don't know how far ahead they went, and it does make me wonder, how long is it going to be before we meet up? Because ED seemingly apparently is a spoiler. If we've got Team Kun and we've got Team Bam, are they going to have to face off at some point? Because a lot of these levels seem to pit groups against one another. So is there a chance they're going to have to fight each other, which would really, really suck, because I like both groups. I don't actually remember many of the faces. I think you've got Anak, her name Yuri, the one with the big bow, the princess of Jihad, her as well. There's a few members in that group I can vaguely remember, but I don't remember a lot of them. So it's going to be curious to see what happens when they do meet. Whether the anime world's going to keep bringing these out, because I can imagine there's a lot of seasons that can be had with Tower of God. I think season 2 looks better, it sounds better. I think there's a lot more going on. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. This will be the last one for a little while, but I hope I will be bringing you 5 and 6 together at some point, hopefully within the week at the most. It will also mean that my midway review will be due when I come back online. It will be where I crown my top 3 OPED and my top 3 anime so far in the series. So fingers crossed. Have a good day, guys. Bye bye.